biggest reason I'm running for county drain commissioner is I was asked to run for county drain commissioner. In conversations with some of the board members and some of the staff at the county level, they wanted to know if I'd be interested in doing that. So I'm gonna give you a little background about myself, why I think I'm unique for this position. The first thing I want to tell you about the drain commissioner is the drain commissioner is the only elected official in the county that can arbitrarily raise your taxes. Just no vote. Whatever they do with that drainage area, you pay for it. Period. They have that authority. I worked on the drain commission code back in the day in the legislature. So again, I'm Joe Underwood. Grew up on 3 Mile. I'm still on 3 Mile. Went to Traverse City Central High School. There was no high school when I was in school. Went to NMC, Central Michigan. Got my master's out of Spring Harbor. In 1990, some of your older folks will remember me as Senator McManus's right-hand man. And we did, well, the uniqueness that I have is I'm able to bring together the units that need to be brought together to make the policy correct. One of the biggest projects we did with George was we got the state to sell the state hospital to the local units. And we had to put that together with all the different interest groups and stakeholders to make sure that that happened. The ability to reach out, to work with the groups that need to be worked with, both the traditional groups and the non-traditional groups. The ability to write grants, procure grants, all these things that I've done in the past are very important for this position because drainage can be very expensive, as we've learned from 2 people talking on the Cass Road situation. I believe that we can do better. I believe that we can have more professionalism in that office and manage this a little bit better. I've spent 30 years, yes, I've spent 30 years in most of the legislature in Lansing. I do work out of Traverse City now. The last appointed person I worked for was Ruth Johnson. When she turned out, the Department of State created a strategic plan, created a position for me, and I'm a strategic planner for the state in that regard. And that's one thing that this office is missing. It's a strategic plan. Where are we at? Where do we go? What's the 4-year cycle? What's the 8-year cycle? What's the 10-year cycle? There isn't. How can you pay for something if you don't know what it is? There was one day we were over in Camp Grayling a few years back, and the general asked me, you know, we could do better if we had our own M1 Abrams tanks. Being an appropriations person, a budget guy, I said, well, how much does it cost? He had no clue. Well, how can I plan for the future if I don't know what you're asking me to pay for? That's what this needs. It needs somebody that's there watching your pocketbook. Yeah, I'm not an engineer. The other 2 gentlemen are engineers. But, you know, Henry Ford wasn't an engineer either. I was just telling somebody the other day that Gil Ziegler, I don't know if some of you remember Gil or not, had a meeting with GM and they wanted a particular part. And he told them, yep, I can have that for you in 60 days. Got back on the plan with his crew, looked at him and said, I need that done in 58 days. It was done. That's what we need in the drain commissioner. That's the person we need. Protecting your purse, but getting it done. So, I'm not going to go on a long backtrack. I still live in the house I grew up in. I'm from here, grew up here. On the political side of it, I've been in the Republican Party forever and a day. I'm 100% pro-life. I'm a lifetime member of the NRA. I have all those conservative credentials that one would expect a Republican to have. And I'm asking for your vote so I can clean that up and make it a professional office.
We'll open it up for questions for Kevin, Andy, and Joe. Any questions for any of these candidates for drain commissioners?
I have an issue.
Okay, Ron, and, Lloyd, go ahead.
Okay. The name's Lloyd Morris. This is for all 3 of you. How, and this is something, I work for Long Lake Township. And there's always been a problem where does the county soil erosion and the drain commissioner fit into the scheme of things with each other?
Who would you like to answer first?
Kevin,
Well, thank you for doing your homework. You hit the nail right on the head. That when I tried to give you the clip note version of what a drain commissioner does in Grand Traverse County. Soil erosion is handled. The boss is Nate Algott, the administrator of the county, and he picked, and actually the commissioners, one of us here with us now, the commissioners, board of commissioners decided the best department to handle soil erosion would be the environmental health department. And I applaud their effort because it was one-stop shopping. The sanitarians who come out to see whether or not your soils are good enough for a drain field, at the same time, they can be looking at soil erosion laws. So Lloyd, to answer your question, who handles the soil erosion in Long Lake Township? For that matter, throughout the county, it's the environmental health department.
no, I know who handles it.
Yeah.
How does the drain commissioner fit in with soil erosion?
Bingo, that's the second phase. I am very concerned, and I keep aware of all the developments that are going on, if that soil erosion is gonna affect my drain. Your drain, you're the taxpayers, you are the owners of that drain, I'm your ambassador of the drain to make sure your drain is protected and your taxes are not raised. If that soil is getting in your drain, that's compromising the infrastructure, and you'll be likely taxed to clean out that soil that gets in there. So when projects are in a drain district, in the past, I've been alerted and ran the program to keep that out of the district. So that's how it would affect the drain commissioner. I would be involved, I would be concerned with the drain districts that the water quality and water quantity is mitigated in any of the drains. The drains usually outfall to Lake Michigan, so there's a pollution concern. I don't wanna hog the floor, but there's a twofold, the county and the drain commissioner also has a responsibility.
Gentlemen, who wants to go?
I'll have to go. This is where I was getting at, where we need somebody that can come in here, get the infrastructure together, and actually work together. I pledge that within the first year, I'm gonna give a county board a plan. And I want that county board to make action on it. I want them to support that. And by doing that, we have to go to each township, and all the groups that are involved in that drainage area, and put them together. Remember, years ago, it was the Vision Grand Traverse project. Kind of need to do that for the drains.
I think there's a misunderstanding, a little bit, perhaps, by two fellow candidates as to who pays for maintenance of drainage systems. It's the subscribers in the district who are supposed to be paying for it, not the taxpayers. If you don't live in a drainage district, the only cost you have to pay is the salary to administer the office, not the maintenance of it. Okay? As I said before, there's people that are in drainage systems that are paying nothing. There's people that are paying more than they should, and that should stop. Equitable consideration of the 14th Amendment has us all treated equal. That's not what's happening. If you got a problem with soil erosion sedimentation control, Kevin was right. The county commissioners decided it was best not done by the drain commissioner's office in 2012. We took that responsibility, ran it to the drain commissioner's office. You can look to the county website, the minutes of those meetings and the discussions that took place, find out for yourself why they did that, but it has been done. Usually people that are doing a good job get more responsibility, not less. So, what do you do if there's sedimentation in a different drain? You basically go to the current administrator of that program and say, your folks, apparently you're not doing a good job because your sediments leaving the site you permitted. Please get your sediments out of my drain, I'm not paying for it. Or find notice of violation of the permittee. They pay for it. Part 91 of the Natural Resources and Environmental Protection Act is the Soil Erosion and Sedimentation Control Act, and administrative rules. The Department of Environmental Quality, now known as the Environment, Great Lakes and Energy Department, delegates the authority for that part of the Natural Resources Code to the county. It's up to the county commissioners and county staff to decide who in county government implements that. There's a plan that's been approved by the legal for the county to do that. Currently, it's been decided by the county commissioners and the county staff that it will be done by environmental health. I don't necessarily agree with the reasons. I don't think there should be any benefit to having a sanitarium with the program, but that's not my call. It's the elected officials who have that responsibility to the electorate to make the decisions about who implements the program, to make those judgments. And if they're good judgments, applaud them. If they're not good judgments, correct them.
Ron, you had a question?
Yes, at the, with the current drain commissioner, he's been in front of the county board multiple times looking for more money. Are you guys, ask each one of you, are you gonna be satisfied with the salary you're getting, or will you be coming to the board looking for more money?
I'll answer that, absolutely. I'm doing this because, to continue to help the county to make growth.
I'm running on being able to do more with less, so the answer is no, I'm not gonna ask for more. In fact, I supported Steve when he was asking for more, and you may recall me providing public comment on that. It's clear that the county has other compelling needs for a limited amount of taxes that we all pay. Those have to get allocated, because as I said earlier, if it's the county's best interest that this gets folded into DPW, there's no one better than me to show you how to do that. If it's decided that the program gets expanded back the way it was, with different programs, housed under the authority of the Drain Commission's office, I can do that too. But it's not my choice. And if we have to do more with less, I know how to get efficiency. I know how to run an engineering business profitably for 25 years and grow it. I know what budgets are. I know what strategic plans are. I can lead.
Great, as things are asking the question, I have to state the fact that my opponent has some campaign literature that says, alleges the office is understaffed, and therefore you want to grow the office. And that's what I said in my opening statements, that I would not grow the office. I did the office, I did 4 years at even less than what the salary is now, and I was efficient. I knew how to do the work, and did all the work. I did the annual reports that we haven't seen for 4 years. I did the every rain event, every spring and every fall inspection of all the drains. Past drain commissioner, it was 18 months before he looked at the old Mission drain, and therefore it was clogged. So in answering your question, of course, yeah, the salary is keeping with it. I'm very familiar with what's got to be done. I know how to be efficient. The Republican core principle is to not grow government, but be efficient with what you got.
One more question we had.
My name is Joe Lawson. I live in Traverse City, downtown. And I own a home and a business in downtown Traverse City. And been down there for quite a while now. And it seems to me that there's a problem that is happening that a lot of people are not paying attention to. And case in point, I bumped into an engineer on the beach in Frankfurt in early June. And we're having a conversation, and it really stuck in my mind because he said that he was hired by Art Kruger this past year to come and do surveying in the Boardman River. And because of the high water, he was saying that there's huge swaths of downtown where the soil is just completely eroded. There's huge swaths of concrete that are being held up by nothing. Downtown, we have drain holes that are filling up with water from below, not coming in from above. And you got it going on all over the city. Draining water is a simple proposition if it goes downhill. What's going to happen if there's no more downhill?
So are you God?
Well, is there anything, nobody's talking about it.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about it. For the last 6 months, I've done nothing but shoreline protection, soil erosion, flood abatement, water water in people's basements. We've got 3 active projects now. There's a gentleman on Pearl Lake in Benzie County who had found out exactly what you're talking about. Pearl Lake doesn't have an outlet. It's a kettle lake. And so when the water level goes up and the groundwater goes up, that lake level goes up. Now his house has to go up. He's raising his house 5 blocks. So that's what happens when there's no more downhill. The water is not going anywhere but the lowest point. If there's something above it that's in jeopardy, it's got to either be protected or moved.
I still don't understand the nature of the question unless there's divine intervention. What do you mean there's no more downhill? There is downhill. I mean, it's Mississippi River down. Well, one thing I want to bring up, I've heard some misconceptions or misinformation. And, I also, in a friendly way, echo Mr. Underwood's statement. Soil erosion, and again, the Republican principle is at the grassroots level. The townships have to say what they want to do with their stormwater. We used to have a county-wide ordinance that the Attorney General then deemed that was null and void. What were you thinking? Only townships can manage their stormwater. Now, we then improved it, and we had all the townships get together, like, this is too big, I'll manage it for you, but let's get it all the same, and we'll do a county intergovernmental agreement. So, but before I get off tangent, that was the soil erosion, that was stormwater. Soil erosion, by Part 91, as you mentioned, is to be handled at the county level. But you mentioned a couple of challenges in the city that are only managed, you can't step on the city's toes. The city has their own soil erosion control, and they have their own stormwater control. But again, I reserve the right, and as it was clarified, when I said your drains, I mean if you're in the drain district, and there's only 10 drains in the county, there's 2 lake levels and 10 drains. So let's say it was the Boardman drain that was getting affected, and as your ambassador for the Boardman drain, you rely on me to protect and keep the water, the excess water pollutants and soil erosion out of that drain, so that you don't have to pay additional taxes because you were in that district. It's very complicated, but I just want to, the city has their own soil erosion and stormwater.
Well, thank you.
You're not alone. I was on a whole mission, and they have high water right now, so they have water in their basement. And if we're, I mean, honestly, 30 years from now, we're going to want more water. 30-year cycle that goes to the Great Lakes. I know that's not what you want to hear, but that's part of our problem.
You have no guarantee that there's no law that says it has to be done.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.